Hello, everyone. I'm Bo from Brutal Commentary, and today I'm going to be breaking down our main card opener for UFC Rio. In this matchup, we have Lucas Almeida taking on Michael Aswell. Almeida is 15-4 as a professional, 2-3 in his last 5 fights, while Aswell is 10-3 as a professional and 3-2 in his last 5 fights. Looking at Almeida, his latest fight was a win or knockout win over Michael Toronzo. Then he gets submitted by Pat Sabatini, knocked out by Andre Fili. His last win was last June against Timothy Kawamba, where he won via decision. And then in his most recent matchup, February, he lost a decision to Danny Silva. Meanwhile, Aswell has only one fight in the UFC this May when he lost a decision to Balaji Oki. But in all fairness, he did take that on short notice up a weight class as he is a career featherweight, and that was a lightweight matchup. Now, he has had one other fight under the UFC banner. That was his Contender Series attempt against Bogdan Grad, which he lost also by decision. So he's kind of winless in everything under the UFC banner. Looking at their overall skill sets, I'd say Almeida is overall, I think, a more powerful striker. He certainly has better tech. I won't even say better technique. He has definitely better power of the two, as he can genuinely crack at 145. Now, granted, I also got to wonder how he could lose the scale because he did miss weight in his last fight to Danny Silva. So that is something I got to keep in the back of my mind. But overall, like I said, in his skill set, he is a pretty good striker overall. He also has that good Brazilian Muay Thai, good fluid combos. And he does hit with some good amount of power to him. He hurt Timothy Kawamba in their fight. Like I said, he knocked out Michael Toronzo. Meanwhile, for Aswell, I would say even on the short notice, I thought he made a good account of himself against Blagioki. He had the cardio to go 15 minutes. I thought while his boxing wasn't as good as Oki's, he had his moments. He certainly was able to, at times, time when below Oki would come in and try and counter off that. So I did think he did a good job of that. He also does have some wrestling to him, and that is definitely, I think, something he's going to need to win this matchup because Almeida's defensive wrestling is kind of awful, if I'm being honest. I mean, Pat Sabatini ran over him. Now, granted, Pat Sabatini is a really good grappler, but also like Danny Silva's out wrestling him. Now, granted, not Andre Fili. He just kind of smoked him with a perfect cross counter. But you kind of get my point in the last two examples with the Sabatini and Silva losses. He's gotten out wrestled a bunch of times in this fight. Now, if Aswell can also do that as well, I think he's going to win. But he's got to get there. And while he, I think, is overall more well-rounded, I do see Almeida as the stronger shot-for-shot hitter, or I guess the more powerful shot-for-shot hitter. As I don't know if Aswell really has the power to hurt Almeida like some of his other opponents. I mean, so far looking at his run through the regional scene and then seeing his 2 fights under the UFC banner, I don't really think Aswell has too much punching power. Now, obviously, he can crack. I mean, most people can at featherweight. But I just don't think he has that extra oomph some fighters have where they can, you find that perfect shot and you have that little extra pop in your hands that just really drive home like a knockout shot or something that rocks your opponent. I don't know if Aswell really has that. What I can say he has is a good work rate. Like I said, he's got a pretty good gas tank to go 15 minutes. He can kind of combine his striking and wrestling pretty well. I definitely think he's overall pretty good at throwing combos to the body, ending with a head, then could shoot in for a takedown. He's pretty good at mixing in his skill sets. While Almeida is definitely more one-dimensional, but he is definitely more of a threat to finish this fight, I believe. Looking at the odds, Aswell's -160, Almeida is +130. I kind of thought this might be a pick'em when I first thought of this fight because both were winless in their last fight. Both haven't had really much success under any sort of banner with the UFC. Now I know Almeida has wins in the UFC, sure. And that Timothy Colombo win has aged pretty well, more or less, I think. But still, both guys are kind of the more flawed fighters at featherweight. And being flawed as these two are in a division as talented as featherweight, not really a good sign. I don't want to sound too mean. It's just, I'm just being honest. I just don't really see these two having much skills to compete with, like, not even the rank of this division, but like the Nathaniel Woods, the Jose Delgados, the Hyder and Mills. Just like, I don't know if these two have that kind of skill set. But right now they're matched up with each other where they're both relatively the same level, I believe. I think it comes down to who overall has either A, the better game plan, and two, who can stick to that game plan and not like deviate from it if things don't go well. For Almeida, if he starts just getting out wrestled, it would more, I think, be up to him, like trying to keep composure, find the knockout shot, and overall just kind of overwhelm Aswell with more potent offense. As for Aswell, he's got to probably work in his takedowns more, and even if they get stuffed, some of them, he's just got to be persistent in that and mix in the striking as well. It really does come down to, as I said, who deviates from the game plan first. Because I think whoever deviates from it or like kind of hits a factory reset and starts fighting how they usually do, I think that person is going to lose. And I think that person is going to be Lucas Almeida. I've seen him make some very poor fight IQ decisions, and I don't fully trust him in that type of situation. Plus, when the opponent has a clear wrestling threat that they can pivot to against him, he oftentimes loses. Now, Timothy Colombo had a wrestling threat, but he didn't use as much, or he got hurt too much in that fight. In comparison, Danny Silva, who, while most of that fight was contested on the feet, did pivot to the wrestling at times when he saw an opportunity. I think Aswell can do roughly the same thing. Like I said, mixing the strikes, mixing the takedowns. Overall, stick to a very good game plan is what I believe will be the path to victory for Michael Aswell. So, my official prediction, I'm going to go with Aswell. I think he's going to win the decision. I don't really see him as much of a finishing threat, but, anything's possible. It is MMA at the end of the day. Who knows? He could catch Almeida with the perfect shot, and I look foolish saying he doesn't have power. But right now, my official prediction, I'm going to go Michael Aswell. I do believe he's going to win a decision. But with that being said, that's been my breakdown on this fight. If you liked the video, comment and subscribe. Next up, we got Ricardo Ramos taking on Khan Olfley. Until then, I've been Bo from Brutal Commentary. I thank you all for listening. Take care.